What is going on YouTube? Hit back making another brand new Crypto TV episode. In today's video, we're going to be looking at XRP, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum, if we have time, the S&P 500. Now, I do know that the stock market is closed today, but there is some important information I do want to just discuss and correlate with you in comparison to the market. As you guys know, the past couple of days, we've been watching some very interesting things on most of the charts. We've been seeing symmetrical triangles form, pennant flags form, as well as ascending triangles form, all of which have somewhat correlated with what could be about a week's worth of trending sideways to eventually lead to what could be a breakout. So as you guys remember, the past couple of days we've been doing a countdown 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and continuing so on and so forth until we see what could be a pop in the price of cryptocurrency, whether it's to the upside or the down, just merely timing it and finding out that big break. So I do have some information that I do want to share with you guys as we move forward into the video that is fairly helpful for this countdown that we've been discussing. Otherwise, if you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe, smash the thumbs up button as that does help support the YouTube algorithm. Make sure to turn on post notifications and follow me on Twitter at CryptoVOfficial. This way, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can DM me over there. Just to jump right into today's episode, I've been reading all your guys' comments. I do it in practically every video. I read everything. I read the feedback. I filter out all the spam comments, which is incredible to see that we even have that on YouTube here, just spam comments, but it makes sense. So now what I've noticed is a lot of you guys are talking about this airdrop, which I find interesting. Listen, I come and created this YouTube channel and I come onto YouTube as me living my life through cryptocurrency and my journey just into finance and things like that. And that's all that this channel is, just me sharing my information, how I portray the market to you guys. And, you guys can take that with a grain of salt. You guys can compare it to other analysts and, do your due diligence, do your homework, figure it out. Don't just fully rely on my information. That's me being transparent and coming forward. Wow, I cannot speak this morning. But, what I noticed was a lot of you guys were mentioning that there was this after Flare Network airdrop free crypto. So I think it is very interesting that we talk about this. This is something a lot of people probably haven't noticed in the past. So XRP price crashes by 8% after Flare Network airdrop free crypto. So XRP prices fell just hours after the Flare Network worked out which addresses it shall credit its free Spark tokens, obviously referencing the correction to the downside. That's where a lot of you guys are correlating news and price movements all into the same pattern, not really looking and understanding technical analysis at the same time. Sure, some of this may actually be impacted by news, but a lot of it can also be just by correlation and just by playing around with these, the trades, with the technical analysis, with the way the price fluctuates, just things of that nature. So I do want to jump right into the technical analysis, kind of go back and forth here, figuring out exactly what's going on. I do have right now the Bityard chart pulled up. As you guys know, we've made some subtle tweaks to our charts just over the past couple of days, but nothing really too incredible where we're like, oh, that was a big, change in market price and market trends. But as you guys noticed, we have some sort of uptrend that has been forming on XRP for a very long time. We have a descending triangle as well. So in regards to a long-term look at things, it doesn't seem to be playing out that bad at all. Obviously, what I wanted to reference was the fact that yesterday's episode, we talked about that there's a good chance we just bottomed out here on XRP. Not only that, but we've been also sharing this information on Patreon. As you guys know, I've also been reading the comments. A lot of you were interested in my trades. And, in order to make these videos not 20 minutes long, 25 minutes long, discussing trades as I keep doing them, I've been posting them on Patreon. Patreon is basically the place where all of my trades, all of my leverage shorts, all of my stop loss and things of that nature are posted for that reason specifically, as well as live updating things to, just check out. I do have the Bitcoin coverage, XRP coverage, the S&P, Ethereum, things like that. And I do have a few tiers left. What's incredible is we're about to hit 150 patrons, which has been a lifelong goal since the channel was created. So we're literally almost there, just off by 5 Patreons. So it is incredible. Huge shout out to you guys for helping me out, helping me almost get to my goal. Otherwise, moving to the technical analysis again. So we were mentioning, and we posted yesterday that there was this opportunity that a correction to the upside is coming, that there was a bottom that was found within XRP, and there's a good chance we're going to continue to, shoot up to these higher levels, that this bottom was definitely here to stay. We had a small dip. None of this was like, oh my God, nobody expected that. I mean, the clear descending, channel is clearly forming on XRP. We were clearly at the top hitting resistance multiple times, which really allowed us to reject downwards. So I don't see it as much of a, correlation. I already do see a correlation with that and the airdrop. But I don't see it as causation. Just because it correlates with something doesn't necessarily mean it causes it. And that's something you guys really have to learn with markets. But we do hit the bottom. We hit the uptrend. We said yesterday, if we hit this bottom and close at the bottom, there's a good chance we're going to reverse back to the upside. And that's a great day to profit off of, the moves, buy in long and correct to the upside. And that's exactly what happened. So what I really want to show you guys is the other cryptocurrencies besides XRP to Tether. I want to show you the USD charts, and then I want to dive into these other cryptocurrencies. So, this goes without explanation. The reason I've had this countdown on cryptocurrency was for the pennant flag that has formed within XRP. Specifically, watch any of the videos, that's what we've been referring to. Now, notice there's really not much left in consolidation. It basically ended us pretty close to December 14th, if not today, which we're at right now. Obviously, we just needed to fill in the gap. We needed to understand if we're going to close above or below supports or resistances, above the price ceilings and price floors. And as we filled in this gap, we broke out early. We didn't break out at that exact point. We broke out literally like a day before. Nothing, too crazy. And that caused a short to the downside. It caused a correction to the downside, which we capitalized off of. Then we discussed how this is probably the bottom for XRP, as it's been acting very, asymmetric or different from XRP to Bitcoin, let's say, or to Litecoin or Ethereum. But what's interesting is, as I said, when we look at the BitYard charts, which I can easily draw on the XRP chart as well on TradingView, you could clearly see that there was a beautiful uptrend that we, overextended and went way away from. And we finally come back down to, reevaluate ourselves and reevaluate these positions. And it's holding fairly well. Then I noticed the correlation between this and the other cryptocurrencies, such as Ethereum, Bitcoin, even Litecoin for that matter. And I just want to show you what it is that we're doing. As we know, the cryptocurrency space is no closed system. Things move all the time. Things fluctuate. Different, let's say news articles come out. Just the price movements all vary. So it's not a closed system. So when we look at an open system, as cryptocurrency really is, or like the human body is, we're just an open system. There's so many things changing constantly. It can't be held at a constant. That gives us the opportunity to adjust our lines, to slightly make up for what we could have missed out on, what we could have, overlooked. And a small tweak to the Bitcoin chart does show that this is still a valid support. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 confirmations right now of a support level being held. Same thing applies itself with Ethereum. A small correction to readjust our lines will allow us to basically confirm that this is still a granted guaranteed support. It still holds extremely well. Even if we were slightly off yesterday, a small tweak just to show how it does line up allows us to basically get the perfect breakout point when it comes. Now, looking at Litecoin, the same exact thing can happen. A small tweak just like this can allow us to say, okay, this still makes sense. This still shows support. This still shows our bottom. And that's all we really have to do. Literally, the small tweak allowed us to once again say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 confirmations. Even if you don't want to consider the wicks, 4 confirmations. A clear bottom was formed, and this does show as a bottom, a small correction. We saw the dip, and we knew that we were going to hit bottoms. We were hitting it on Litecoin, we were hitting it on Bitcoin, we were hitting it on Ethereum. And as we noticed, that would immediately influence XRP. It would take over XRP, and that's why we saw XRP start to rise as well. So honestly, where do we have moving forward? And then we'll talk about the S&P 500. As you guys can clearly see, I'm going to use Bitcoin as the main reference. This is another thing we do have to consider. So today is the 13th, 14th, 15th. It ends right about the 20th. It ends about the 20th. I'm going to be honest. Now that we have, moved away from the XRP chartings, which did break, ending our, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 countdown, we can move it on to now Bitcoin. Bitcoin, seeing that there is a massive ascending triangle. You can't deny this. There is a beautiful ascending triangle with a clear cookie cutter hard top resistance at our all-time high for, honestly, Bitcoin in history. This is the all-time high. We have not decided to break above here, but we have been able to set higher lows multiple times over and over again. We are finally building up the support we need to retest this resistance, and we could pop. We could explode in Bitcoin and see a massive moonshot easily up to 25,000. If this does come, we're going to see these other cryptocurrencies explode with volume as well. It's going to influence XRP. It's going to influence these other cryptocurrencies. All it's doing is priming us to move higher. Same thing applies with Ethereum, which ends closer to the 23rd. We have Litecoin, which is a little bit farther off. This is into early January. First week in January, we might see what exactly happens there. But as for these other cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin specifically, it ends in about, I would say, 9, 8, 7, less than a week. I'd say less than a week right now for Bitcoin specifically, and there's really not much left. The cool thing is you can see the markets do break out way earlier than they usually are tended for, but they usually end at about a guaranteed time. So the fact is we have less than 6 days to figure out what exactly is going on with Bitcoin. A clear break above 19,700 will be a bullish correction to the upside, or a bullish break to the upside. Vice versa, if we break up below this support right here, anywhere on this line, and we close below it, anticipate a big dump to all the way as low as what could be $15,000. Very easy. Lastly, in reference to the XRP, price crash after the Flare network airdrops free cryptocurrency, I wanted to compare this to news relevant to the S&P 500, just to give you guys kind of my theory as to what exactly we're looking at. I'll jump to the monthly. Doesn't hurt, but you can see what it is I'm referring to. So honestly, if we just start off looking at this coin. You have a beautiful uptrend, beautiful resistance. You can clearly see from the bottom, which we could start at, 2011. We could start back in 2009. Every time we hit resistance here, we correct lower. It's almost a guarantee every single time. We have not been able to do something like this. Otherwise, I would change my, my reference. If we went like this, then it would be different. But we haven't. We didn't do that. We've literally been stuck at this resistance for the longest time. Only now are we starting to see some indifferences in the market price, which we could adjust slightly, but ultimately I'm not seeing anything crazy right now. Ultimately, we are pretty darn high up. All I know is when we broke here in resistance back in February, or we can go all the way back to, it's pretty much January, February, March, we broke bearish. Markets were due to break bearish. We were extremely, near the overbought level on the monthly. We were overbought on all the other, signs. We were overbought right here. This is back in February of 2020. You can see this. It was a clear-cut sign that there was resistance coming. What news came out the second we hit overbought? COVID. COVID came out. Markets dumped. At the same time, we were due to dump anyway. So the correlation doesn't always mean causation. It's just very interesting to think about. Otherwise, guys, that's going to wrap up today's video. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely make sure to subscribe. Turn on post notifications. Leave the giant thumbs up, as this does help support the YouTube algorithm. And I will see you in tomorrow's episode. Peace.